Archangel Michael says, "You are very lucky because you found this message just in time. A very serious judgment was made about you alone. If you believe in God, type Amen." Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, listen now and do not let your heart turn away, for you have opened this message in divine timing, in the very breath between one moment and the next, when heaven has torn open the veil to let this light pour into your life." Archangel Michael has been kneeling before the throne of God in holy anguish, crying out with the strength of celestial fire because of what has just been revealed about you. The record has been unsealed. The book has been opened. A very serious judgment was made about you, and you alone. Michael's sword trembled in his hand. His wings closed in sorrow for a moment, and then opened again with holy power, because he knows that even though this judgment was severe, you, yes, you, have just found this message, and that changes everything. You are very, very lucky. Not because of fate. Not by chance. But because the God of heaven saw you faltering, saw you silently crying when no one heard you, saw your soul trying to breathe underwater while you pretended everything was fine. This message was sent for you. This moment is the interruption of everything that has been planned against you. A woman spoke your name before a council not of this world. Her words were not prayers. They were curses. She made a deal that you didn't know existed, a transaction in the shadows, and she placed your name in a fire that burns not with warmth, but with accusation. God heard it. Michael heard it. But you didn't, until now. What was said in darkness is being shouted in the halls of heaven, and it cannot remain hidden. There was a moment, only a few hours ago, when your name was almost struck from the heavenly scroll of favor. But something stopped it. You. Yes, you, your heart, your soul, your ability to love even after betrayal. The angels saw that even though people had betrayed you, used you, and pretended to be your friend while holding secret knives, you still chose not to turn into them. Your love became your protection. Your prayers, quiet, shaky, uncertain prayers, rose to the highest court in heaven. You didn't even know how close you were to spiritual exile. But God did. And that is why Michael was sent. He descended not with wrath, but with trembling compassion. He hovered beside your bed last night while you slept, while you turned on your side to stop the tears from soaking the pillow. He saw how you held on to someone in your heart who hasn't held you back in a long time. He saw your strength, your weakness, and your hope, all woven together like a sacred offering. That's when the divine clock shifted. This message was born from that moment. This is why you found it right now. It won't stay. It will disappear. That's why heaven is begging you not to blink, not to scroll, not to close your heart. What's coming next depends on what you do in this moment. The judgment was not small. It was not light. The enemy had built a case against you for years. Every mistake, every weakness, every time you doubted your worth was used as evidence. But then Archangel Michael brought something else forward. A single moment where you helped someone and never told anyone. A time you gave, even though you had nothing left. A moment you said, "I forgive you," but were never apologized to. That moment changed the courtroom. God stood. His voice made the stars pause in their orbit. The judgment was delayed. Not removed, delayed. And now the delay is your open door. You have two paths. One will bring you back to the same cycles: confusion, heartbreak, betrayal disguised as love, fake apologies, financial delays, and emotional numbness. But the other is a narrow gate, invisible to the world, but lit in heaven with fire and light. The second path opens now, because you opened this message. Michael is standing at the entrance of that path right now, holding the sword in one hand and a scroll in the other. The scroll has your name on it. The sword is glowing because it has been dipped in divine truth. It will cut away every false agreement that was made about you. But only if you walk forward. God says you've been agreeing with lies for too long. Lies like, "I'm not enough." Lies like, "Maybe I deserve this pain." Lies like, "No one ever stays." Lies like, "Maybe this is all there is." No, child. That is not truth. That is trauma speaking. That is manipulation that became internalized. And today, heaven says it ends. Someone very specific is about to be exposed. They've been playing both sides, pretending to support you while feeding your name into the mouths of gossipers. They are about to slip. Michael will make sure their words will return to them like arrows. You will see a sudden reversal. Where once you were the accused, you will now be the one who is vindicated. But you must not chase revenge. That is not the divine way. You must let the angels handle what you were never meant to carry. Every time you try to fight spiritual battles with earthly weapons, arguments, over-explaining, begging people to understand, you delay your own blessing. No more. You are about to see what happens when heaven defends you. Within the next 7 days, a supernatural confirmation will arrive. It will come in a strange way. Someone will mention your name in a place you never expected. A long-lost connection will re-emerge. You may even hear from someone who previously ghosted you or hurt you deeply. But they are not coming back because they've changed. Some are being sent to test your new discernment. Because God wants to make sure you don't keep reopening doors He has closed. Michael says this is the season of decisive clarity. Heaven is giving you eyes sharper than ever before. You will see people for who they are, no matter how good their mask is. You will know when someone's smile hides a scheme. You will feel it in your spirit when a message is a trap. You will be protected. But only if you don't blink. Only if you don't go back. This is not a normal message. It is a divine interruption. The kind that only comes once. The kind that separates your life into before and after. You have felt stagnant because you were standing on the edge of this moment, waiting for heaven to speak. Now it has. And it will not repeat itself. Michael says, in heaven's records, you were chosen for a calling that was hidden from you for years. Delays were allowed so that certain people could exit your life. Had they stayed, they would have sabotaged your divine launch. Their betrayal was a form of protection. God did not allow them to see who you were becoming because they would have tried to control it. But now you're ready. You were judged. And heaven intervened. But time is running out. In 72 hours, a spiritual decision will be finalized. You must respond now, with action, not emotion. Speak aloud this truth: I accept the divine verdict of favor. I cancel every lie spoken about me. I step into the truth God wrote over my life. Repeat it 3 times. That activates what Michael is preparing for you. Something is being sent to you. A package. A letter. A financial door. A truth someone swore they would never reveal, but they will, because the angels are now putting pressure on their spirit. You will receive a key. It may not look like a key. It may come in the form of a message, a dream, a sudden knowing. But it will unlock what was sealed shut. This judgment was meant to silence you, to disqualify you. But now, you will be elevated. A location change may also be near. A new place is being whispered in your soul, perhaps not fully clear yet. But a shift in geography often accompanies a shift in destiny. Don't resist if you're called to go. Whether it's a different home, a job, or even a new level in your relationships, it's all part of the divine rerouting. There is also someone watching you, quietly. They've admired you from afar but didn't speak because of fear or manipulation from others. But now, they're being stirred awake. They are dreaming of you. They are hearing your name in prayer. This person carries a gift that aligns with your calling. You are not meant to walk this road alone. But you must become whole first, so that you don't accept counterfeit love again. Michael says the counterfeit is already circling. But they will trip. You will know. Don't mistake familiarity for destiny. The real one will come with peace, not confusion. The final part of this message cannot be delayed. Within 14 days, someone's mask will fall completely. It will shock you. It will hurt, but it will free you. That freedom is what heaven fought for. That freedom is what Michael was weeping over. That freedom is why this message came through. This judgment is real. It had consequences. But grace rewrote the ending. You were not sentenced. You were summoned. Summoned into your assignment. Summoned into breakthrough. Summoned into clarity, peace, love, restoration, and sacred protection. This isn't just a feel-good message. It is the sound of spiritual chains shattering. You are not who they said you were. You are who God knows you are. It is time. Step forward. Speak light. Choose truth. Walk away from what numbs you. Do not return to what breaks you. You have heaven's full attention. The clock is ticking. Michael is waiting. And the message is almost gone. Your spirit was alert. It moved restlessly in the night because it sensed what your human eyes could not see. God says your spirit recognized her before your mind could. This woman, silent and veiled in shadows, was not just a stranger. She was a carrier of destiny. She was permitted to walk close to your dwelling, not by accident, not by intrusion, but by divine order. And what she left behind wasn't meant for your hands. It was meant for your spirit. It was meant for your future. Archangel Michael watched her from the highest realm. He was instructed not to interfere unless you were in danger, but even he grew uneasy. This woman carried a presence, holy, yet haunting. She had a message etched into her energy, and though no words escaped her lips, the heavens heard what she couldn't say. Deliver this. Leave it. Turn away. That was her divine instruction. She obeyed. But now it's you who must respond. Heaven says the object she left behind isn't material, it's a spiritual activation. It is something that must be uncovered in the heart, not the hand. It is coded in vibration. In dreams. In sudden moments of intuition that strike like lightning. This is why, since the early hours of this morning, you've been feeling things that don't make sense. The heaviness. The thoughts that come uninvited. The shivers down your back when you pass the place where she stood. God says she didn't just leave something. She triggered something. And that something is unfolding even now. The angels are on high alert. Michael's wings have not returned to rest. His sword is still raised. Because what was left behind could bless you or bind you, depending on how you respond. This isn't superstition. This is supernatural instruction. God says this is the moment you're being watched from the highest heavens. Your reaction will open one of two doors. Archangel Michael pleads with you now, respond with prayer, not panic. Respond with faith, not fear. Michael wants you to recall the last time you felt an invisible visitor. Maybe it was a whisper in your ear when no one was around. A shadow that passed the hallway too fast. A dream where a woman said nothing, but looked you in the eyes and handed you a key. All of this was preparation for this night. For this moment. For this object left behind. The key wasn't physical. It was prophetic. This woman is known in the higher realms. She is not demonic. She is not angelic. She is a watcher. A witness. Assigned only to those whose destiny has reached a moment of irreversible decision. Her job is not to teach, speak, or intervene. Her job is to deliver and disappear. And now, it is your time to respond. God says your life is standing at the door of divine clarity. You may ignore it and return to normal. But if you do, you will feel the weight of what you missed. You've already started noticing the signs. The way electronics flickered when you passed by. The odd sensation that your name was called, but no one was there. The way your dreams seemed too real last night. That wasn't imagination. That was spiritual convergence. Heaven and earth touched at your doorstep. The item she left behind is sealed in spirit. But it contains secrets about your next breakthrough, your real identity, and someone you don't yet know, someone who is going to change your life. There's a name encoded in that object. A name you haven't heard yet, but when you do, your soul will tremble. Because it will confirm everything. You are closer to your divine assignment than ever before. Michael warns you now, do not take this lightly. The enemy wanted to intercept that delivery. That woman was nearly stopped. Demonic forces tried to blind her path, distract her direction, and paralyze her body. But divine timing prevailed. She made it. She stood at your door. She followed heaven's coordinates. She fulfilled her task. Now it is your turn. This week, you will be tested. Strange conversations will happen. People from the past will try to reappear. A person close to you will behave in a way that reveals their true motive, and it will shock you. But it is part of what was triggered by that woman's visitation. It has begun. The chain reaction. The exposure. The unraveling of secrets. The alignment of heaven's clock. That item she left? It's not over. It's just beginning. God says the object she left isn't passive, it's active. It's already working. It's releasing signals into the atmosphere around you, calling in people, visions, messages, and divine protection. Your atmosphere is no longer ordinary. Archangel Michael has assigned 3 watcher angels to circle your home. 1 at your front door. 1 near your sleeping space. And 1 who walks invisibly wherever you go. You may feel alone, but you're surrounded. Expect to see flashes of light in the corner of your eyes. Expect your dreams to become messages. Expect your voice to carry more power when you pray. Expect old enemies to suddenly be exposed, not by you, but by divine confrontation. And most of all, expect the unexpected. Michael says you will know the item's true meaning when the time comes. It will unlock itself in an event that hasn't happened yet. That event will involve a letter, a woman crying, and a number that keeps repeating, something like 333 or 1111. When it happens, remember this message. That's when you must act. You may wonder why this happened now. Why you? Why such mystery? God says because your spirit has matured. You're ready to handle mysteries. You've outgrown simple prayers. You've been called into spiritual responsibility. And with that comes strange occurrences, because your life is no longer casual, it is now prophetic. Someone you know suspects this about you. They've noticed your glow, your wisdom, your knowing. But they don't understand it, so they keep their distance. Don't be angry with them. God says they are not yet ready. But soon, they will need you. And when they do, your understanding of this message, of what was left at your door, will help you guide them. You're being prepared for a moment of divine confrontation. There is a hidden enemy in your life pretending to be an ally. Michael says their exposure is tied to the object. When you recognize who they are, don't panic. Don't fight. Just walk away with peace. Because what's coming to you next is too holy to be tainted by betrayal. The woman who stood at your door is already gone. She will not return. But her presence left a spiritual mark on the ground where she stood. That spot, though invisible, is glowing in the spirit. Angels know it. Demons fear it. You must guard it. Pray near it. Sit beside it when you feel confused. It is now a portal between heaven and your destiny. God says in 3 days, you will receive a sign that proves this entire message was real. Something you lost will return. Something you thought broken will suddenly work again. Someone you haven't spoken to will reach out, and their message will contain a code. Not an obvious one. But your spirit will catch it. Michael says, be ready. Be sensitive. Don't ignore the inner nudges. Don't delay the small things. If you feel like calling someone, do it. If you feel like canceling an appointment, trust it. Your spirit is navigating the map heaven wrote long before you were born. You are walking a path others cannot see. From this day forward, your life will accelerate. Not because you earned it, but because heaven has appointed it. The time has come. You are no longer wandering. You are aligned. You are seen. You are chosen. And most of all, you are protected. More to follow. I'm continuing with the rest of the 30,000 characters. Please stay with me. Even now, as you read these words, something within you is stirring, an ancient part of your soul that remembers what the world has forgotten. That woman was more than just a visitor, she was a mirror. She was a reflection of something within you that has been silent for too long. A part of your soul that has waited patiently behind the door of your own heart. And when she left the unseen object at your door, she awakened that part. God says, the message wasn't written in ink, it was encoded in energy. Your soul has already started decoding it. That's why you've been sensing strange surges of emotion, waves of grief with no reason, bursts of joy without cause, memories from years ago suddenly returning to your consciousness. It's not chaos. It's communication. The veil between the natural and supernatural is thinner than ever before. Archangel Michael is now standing behind you in spirit, his wings unfurled wide, whispering, "You must not miss this. This isn't a random day. This isn't just a mystical visitation. This is a divine intervention crafted for your deliverance. You have enemies watching your every step, people who pretend to celebrate you but secretly fear your potential. They don't know what was left at your door last night. But the moment they sense your awakening, they'll become restless. They'll act strange. Some will suddenly grow cold. Others will try to distract you. Beware, for these are the final signs of exposure. What was hidden in their hearts will come to light. And you must be strong enough to keep walking forward, even as the masks fall off. The object she left is not cursed, but it is heavy. It carries centuries of spiritual momentum, now aligned with your soul's journey. You are not just a person. You are a portal. That object connected your timeline with a divine inheritance that was lost in your bloodline generations ago. Your ancestors prayed for this moment. Some died waiting. But it is you, yes, you, who heaven has chosen to receive it. That is why the enemy tried so hard to derail you in the past weeks. That's why confusion, rejection, heartbreak, and loss came at you from every side. It wasn't punishment. It was distraction. Because if you ever saw what God hid inside of you, the enemy's plans would crumble overnight. Michael says, you are a threat to the darkness. And now that this object has activated, the spiritual warfare will intensify. But fear not. Reinforcements have already been dispatched. You are not alone. Even when you feel isolated, the armies of heaven surround you. They carry scrolls that contain instructions, healing, and guidance, waiting for the command to release it all upon your life. Archangel Michael says, you are very lucky, because you found this message just in time. You have no idea how close you came to missing something that heaven has been preparing for so long. This isn't random. This isn't just a coincidence. This is a divine arrangement. A very serious judgment was made about you alone, and yet, by grace, mercy stepped in. Had you blinked, had you scrolled, had you turned away for even a moment, this message would have disappeared, and what you were meant to hear would have slipped by silently. But you didn't blink. You didn't miss it. And that means something powerful is about to shift in your life. The spiritual courtrooms of heaven have been deliberating about you. Angels have gathered. Records have been opened. Your name has been spoken. And it wasn't a whisper, it was loud. It was clear. Your life was under divine review. Not for condemnation, not for punishment, but for purpose. The enemy had accusations lined up. He tried to make his case against you, bringing every flaw, every past mistake, every moment of weakness as evidence. But Archangel Michael stood on your behalf. He raised his sword not in violence, but in defense. He declared, "This soul still believes. This heart still hopes. This person still prays." And that declaration shook the halls of heaven. God looked, not at the accusations, but at your endurance. Not at your failures, but at your faith. Even when your hands trembled, you kept them lifted. Even when your eyes filled with tears, you kept them focused upward. Even when you felt forgotten, you continued to whisper, "God, I trust you." And because of that, a very serious decision was made. Grace has been extended. A divine reversal has begun. What was meant to destroy you is about to bless you. What was sent to break you is about to elevate you. This is not a time to take lightly. This is not just another message. This is the moment that could mark the turning point of your entire life. Archangel Michael says, "The window is open, but only briefly." This message is not permanent. It will vanish. The words you are reading now are alive. They are charged with divine urgency. They are meant for your spirit, not just your eyes. And if you hesitate, if you dismiss it, if you say, "Maybe later," you may not find this door again. That's why you were drawn here. That's why something inside you said, "Read this." It wasn't chance. It was a call from heaven. God is watching you right now. Not in judgment, but in deep, unwavering love. He sees your struggles. He sees the way you try to smile through pain. He sees the way you encourage others while your own heart is breaking. He sees how you try to stay strong for everyone else, while inside you sometimes feel empty and lost. He sees it all, and he's moved by your faithfulness. Heaven keeps perfect records. Every prayer, every good deed, every tear you've cried in secret, none of it has been wasted. None of it has been forgotten. God is not distant. He is not silent. He is right here, closer than your own breath. What you're going through right now is not punishment. It is preparation. The weight you feel is not failure, it's the tension before the breakthrough. The pressure is the signal that something divine is near. God is allowing the shaking, not to destroy you, but to remove everything that's not meant to go where you're going. There are things you asked for in prayer that require pruning. You asked for peace, so He's removing what disturbs it. You asked for favor, so He's stripping away what blocks it. You asked for clarity, so He's dissolving confusion. It hurts, yes, but it's holy pain. It's the pain that comes before birthing something miraculous. Archangel Michael says, "You are protected." Even if it doesn't feel like it, even if your environment looks chaotic, the truth is, you are covered. No weapon formed against you will prosper. The enemies of your soul may plot, but they will fail. No curse can hold. No spell can last. No lie will live. The judgment passed in heaven overrides every opinion spoken on earth. What others say about you doesn't matter, only what heaven has declared. And heaven has declared you favored, chosen, forgiven, redeemed, blessed. You are not who they said you were. You are not what your past says you are. You are not the labels others placed on you in ignorance. You are who God says you are. And He says, "You are mine." He says, "I have called you by name." He says, "Before you were born, I set you apart." You may have felt like you were last in line, but God says, "The last shall be first." You may have felt like you missed your chance, but God says, "I am the God of second chances, and I do not count time the way man does." Right now, there is a shift happening around you. You may not see it, but in the spirit realm, things are moving. Chains are breaking. Delays are dissolving. Strongholds are weakening. What was closed is creaking open. What was hidden is being revealed. What was dead is coming back to life. You are walking into a season of divine compensation. Heaven is repaying you for every season you endured with quiet obedience. God is restoring years the enemy stole from you. Time you thought was wasted is being redeemed. You are being launched into a future that is brighter than anything you imagined. But you must not blink. You must not dismiss this. You must hold on to this moment with all your heart. Speak it aloud. Claim it. Pray over it. Align your words with what God is saying, not what fear is whispering. Stop rehearsing the pain and start declaring the promise. Stop replaying the betrayal and start focusing on the blessing. There's no room in your spirit for both fear and faith. Choose faith now. Choose it while the door is open. Choose it while the message is fresh. The second you agree with heaven, things will start to move faster than you thought possible. You've been in the waiting room for a long time. You've watched others walk into their blessings while you sat quietly, clapping for them, wondering when your turn would come. God saw that. He saw your humility. He saw your patience. And now, your name has been called. Heaven is saying, it's your turn now. The doors are opening for you, not because you forced them, but because you trusted God when it was hardest. That kind of faith doesn't go unnoticed. That kind of faith is rewarded. Archangel Michael says, your enemies were hoping you'd quit. They were hoping you'd get tired and give up. But they didn't count on your persistence. They didn't know how strong your spirit was. They didn't expect you to endure. And because you did, they will now have to watch as God elevates you in plain sight. What they tried to sabotage, God will bless. What they tried to bury, God will resurrect. What they tried to ruin, God will restore tenfold. This isn't revenge, it's justice. Divine justice. And it comes without bitterness. It comes wrapped in peace. This is your reminder, God will be with you. Rest assured. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust God and pray to Him. The storms you faced were not without purpose. They made you stronger, wiser, deeper, more compassionate, more connected to heaven. You've been refined like gold in the fire. You're not broken, you're pure. You're not weak, you're prepared. What's ahead is sacred. What's ahead is holy. And that's why the battle was so fierce, because the enemy knew what was coming for you. But he failed. He couldn't stop you. And now, your testimony will be louder than your trial. You'll speak of how God carried you through, not in theory, but in living truth. You'll be the evidence of divine intervention. You'll be the proof that God still speaks, still saves, still shows up. Your life will reflect His glory. Your story will lift others. Your faith will inspire generations. Archangel Michael stands with you right now, watching your decision. Will you trust? Will you believe again? Will you open your heart and say, "Yes, Lord, I receive this"? If so, get ready. Heaven will back you. Angels will surround you. Favor will chase you. Peace will flood you. Miracles will find you. And nothing, no voice, no enemy, no situation, can stop what God is now releasing over your life. Don't blink. Don't scroll away. Don't doubt. This message will disappear. But the promise it carries will live in your spirit forever, if you choose to receive it now. Speak to God. Whisper if you must. But let Him hear you. Let your soul answer this divine call. Everything changes the moment you do. Archangel Michael says, "You are very lucky, because you found this message just in time." This is not a coincidence. It is not just another message that floated into your path by mistake. Heaven chose this exact moment to reach you. A divine whisper echoed across dimensions and time to bring you here. Your soul called for a sign. Your spirit has been silently weeping for clarity, for guidance, for a breakthrough that feels like it's been long overdue. And now, heaven is responding. A very serious judgment was made about you alone. Not in anger, not in punishment, but in truth. This judgment was not rendered by people who know half your story. It was not whispered behind your back or etched into gossip and misunderstanding. It came from the throne of God Himself. It was deliberate. It was detailed. It was precise. You were weighed, measured, and found worthy, despite what others have said, despite your own inner doubts, despite the accusations that tried to stain your name. You have been chosen. You have been marked for divine redemption. But hurry, this message will disappear if you even blink. That's how fragile this moment is. Not because the message isn't real, but because your window of revelation is open now, and it won't remain open forever. If your heart closes, if distraction wins, if fear chokes the truth before it can land in your soul, this divine encounter may slip past. Heaven is urging you to remain still, to let every word soak in, because your entire destiny is being reshaped by what you are about to receive. Archangel Michael is standing beside you now. You may not see him, but the air around you is shifting. His wings are outstretched, his voice is thunder and peace at the same time, and he is here to reveal a secret the enemy never wanted you to know. God says, you have been under observation, not just from people, not just from heaven, but from forces you cannot see. Your resilience has confused your enemies. Your survival has insulted every curse that was spoken against you. There were meetings held in darkness about your downfall, but what they didn't know is that you are divinely protected. They watched and waited for you to fall, but instead, you rose. And even when you didn't rise loudly, you didn't break. Even in silence, you stood. You held on. You wept, but you kept walking. That is what reached heaven. That is what activated this very message. You're not just receiving this because you're in need. You're receiving this because you've already been found worthy. Archangel Michael says, the judgment made about you was different than what people expected. They assumed you would be disqualified because of your past. But heaven judged your heart. While others obsessed over your flaws, heaven focused on your fight. You didn't give up. You didn't become bitter. You still hoped, even if it was buried deep. You still believed, even if your faith felt cracked. And that was enough. God saw it all. Not one moment of your pain was wasted. Not one trial you walked through was unseen. Your name was not just whispered in prayer, it was spoken in heaven with fire and reverence. You are safe now. Not because danger doesn't exist, but because God has surrounded you with something stronger than steel, divine favor. Your protection is not based on luck. It's based on your calling. There are things you must still do. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. Every delay, every heartbreak, every confusion, it was not punishment. It was preparation. You had to be stripped of certain illusions before you could carry the power you're about to receive. You had to be wounded so your healing could become a testimony. You had to walk alone so you could learn the voice of God without interference. And now, that voice is speaking to you loud and clear. Listen carefully. You are being ushered into a very narrow passage of spiritual elevation. Not everyone will understand what's happening to you. Some will mock. Some will walk away. Some already have. But it's not rejection, it's redirection. I, the Lord, remove them because they could not go where I'm taking you. Do not weep over who left. Do not grieve over what was lost. If you saw what I'm sending next, you'd rejoice. Your next chapter is not just a season, it's a divine eruption. You are going to witness sudden favor, unexpected financial blessings, supernatural healing,